What is going on, everybody? My name is Nick, and welcome back finally to another video. I know it's been a long time. I've been on hiatus and haven't been motivated to make a video, but now here I am with a video. I'm not gonna keep going on apologizing, but I will apologize for having not made a video in a while, and move on here and get into today's content, which is going to be me recapping the Green Bay Packers 2020 NFL draft picks, going pick by pick, reading some analysis, and then giving my thoughts on, reading some analysis and providing some of my own thoughts on what I think about each draft pick. So to start off, I'm going to list off each player that was picked by the Green Bay Packers in what round and what pick number, and then I will go pick by pick, talking draft selection by draft selection, talking about each player that the Packers selected. So without further ado, the Green Bay Packers selected in the first round at pick 29. They picked up Eric Stokes, cornerback out of Georgia. In round 2, pick 62, they selected guard/center Josh Meyers out of Ohio State. In the third round, at pick 85, the Packers actually selected a wide receiver, Amari Rodgers out of Clemson. With their fourth round compensatory pick at pick 141, the Green Bay Packers selected Bryce Newman, tackle/guard from Mississippi. In the fifth round, at pick 173, the Packers selected Slayton, defensive lineman from Florida. With their compensatory selection in the fifth round, pick 178, the Packers selected Shamar Charles, cornerback out of Appalachian State. In the sixth round, at pick 241, the Packers selected Lanen, tackle/guard from the Wisconsin Badgers. And their compensatory selection in round 6, pick 36, the Green Bay Packers selected Isaiah Mcduffie. In round 4 at pick 256, or not round 4, and the Green Bay Packers' final selection in the 7th round at 256, the Green Bay Packers selected running back Kylin Hill out of Mississippi State. So that is all the Packers selections. Now I'm going to jump in here talking about each selection, starting with cornerback Eric Stokes out of Georgia. And Stokes was CBS Sports / 24/7 Sports All-American first team. He started all 10 games at cornerback for Georgia in 2020. He had 20 total stops, 4 interceptions, 4 pass breakups, and 3 quarterback pressures last season. Stokes showed off his blazing speed at his pro day, running a 4.31 40-yard dash time. His vertical was 38.5 inches. He put up 14 reps on the bench. His broad jump was 128 feet. His 3-cone drill was 6.96 seconds, and his shuttle was 4.36 seconds. Now for some draft analysis here on Eric Stokes, provided by 24/7 Sports. Pro Football Network said, after the Green Bay Packers struggled with their secondary in the playoffs, addressing that need with Eric Stokes is a logical move. Stokes is a former track star with good footwork, intangibles, and IQ. The only slight concern is that this selection does not address 2 glaring needs on offense, and the grade given here was a B by Pro Football Network. Now, I definitely do agree that the Packers did need to address the secondary. I don't think they need to address the secondary this early in the playoffs. It's not their biggest concern on the team, despite Kevin King getting burned in the NFC Championship game. I'm not really a fan of this pick. I think they could have still found a valuable cornerback later in the draft, like 2nd or 3rd round. Maybe even the 4th round. I don't like the idea of going Stokes when there was so much wide receiver talent still left on the board at this selection. So yeah, really not a fan of it. And here's what Bleacher Report had to say. About Eric Stokes, they said his strengths are blazing speed, which I already mentioned, press man coverage, and he plays the ball. His weaknesses, he is a straight line athlete, poor run defender, which Packers don't need. They don't need poor run defenders. I don't like that already. And then here's a quote from Bleacher Report. Easily one of the fastest men in this year's draft. When the ball did come his way, quote, he recorded 22 pass breakups over 3 seasons along with 4 interceptions a year ago. Quote, the 6'4", or no, I don't have to say quote, because this is still a quotation. The 6'4", 194-pound Stokes isn't the biggest or most physical defensive back. He can be a liability against the run. Again, I don't like that. His transition through his back pedal is somewhat concerning as well. Quote, I do see Eric Stokes as a potential replacement for Kevin King, but this pick really doesn't make sense for me, like I said, because there's so much wide receiver talent left on the board. And Bleacher Report points this out, that there were still LSU's Terrence Marshall Jr. on the board, Ole Miss's Elijah Moore, North Carolina's Diami Brown, and Purdue's Rondale Moore. And they gave this pick an F. I think that's a little harsh. I probably would give it like a C, because Stokes could end up being a really solid corner. Yeah, and with all these receivers on the board, the Packers could have taken one. They should have, man. I guess they didn't like the receivers that were on the board. I don't know. And Gutekunst was being stubborn, and he really wanted Stokes, so he took Stokes. He took his guy. So yeah, I give this pick a C. That's my grade. I think it's an okay pick. But at first, I was really mad at this pick. But now, like, looking at it from the standpoint that the Packers do need secondary help, and Kevin King's not cutting it, I'll give it a C. He could be a Kevin King replacement. Yeah, right now that's the grade I'm gonna give it. All right, moving on to the Packers' second-round selection here. In Josh Meyers, he's a center/guard out of Ohio State. And Lance Zierlein on NFL.com says, quote, future starting center with proportionally broad frame, good lean mass. He's functional working into lateral positioning, but is at his best on double teams and working up to linebackers to free up the Buckeyes' interior rushing attack. He's not a natural bender and has trouble with contact balance when allowing defenders to get up under his pads. Meyers' strengths are broad and wide. He's broad and wide with proportional physique. Stays active after contact, looking to improve positioning. He slides his feet/hips around the defender to seal off running lanes. His weaknesses: allows defenders' hands into his frame too often. Plays too straight-legged into block engagement. Average success rate as an outside zone blocker. And then a scouting report by Mason Thompson on PrimetimeSportsTalk.com. Thompson gives him an 8.25 out of 10 on pass blocking. Meyers is a solid pass blocker. He will always try to chip in and help his other teammates if he isn't blocking anyone by himself one-on-one. There seems to be times where Meyers was the only lineman able to hold his block for the Buckeyes to keep Justin Fields from. While Justin Fields was running for his life in Ohio State's game against Indiana last season. And then another thing that stood out from the scouting report, this scouting report for me was Meyers is 9 out of 10 on run blocking. Meyers is a great run blocker. He's quick out of his stance, and he can move his first target out of the way to go to the next level. And then the player summary by Mason Thompson here, he says, quote, he can fit any scheme, but a zone scheme could be best. Hopefully the Packers run a zone scheme. I mean, I don't know. I'm not that crazy of a Packers fan. I don't know exactly what scheme they run, but hopefully they run a zone. Some concerns include his balance, lack of athleticism, and versatility, but Meyers should have no issues translating to the NFL. I like the confidence here from this scouting report. I am a fan of this pick. I think Meyers can be. It's Josh Meyers, yeah, right, yeah. I think Josh Meyers can be a rotational piece on the Packers offensive line. If somebody goes down with an injury, he can step in and play fairly well. Yeah, I feel like he could definitely be a good piece for the Packers. He might even start too. We'll see. It depends on how well he plays here, in practice and in the preseason to see where if he ends up how much playing time he ends up getting. Okay, transitioning on to the Packers' third-round selection, which was Amari Rodgers, wide receiver out of Clemson. Rodgers is 5'9" and 1.5 inches, 212 pounds. He has 30 and 3/8 inch arms, and he has 9.5 inch hands. Lance Zierlein says, quote, compact slot target who thrived at Clemson with his ability to create chunk plays out of short catch and runs and take the top off of defenses with his speed. Rodgers uses speed alternations inside the route and a sudden burst to top speed to create deep separation from coverage. He's not as effective at separating underneath against tight man coverage and will need to prove himself in that regard. Quote. Amari Rodgers' strengths: he's very strong with a compact body type. He was able to come back from an ACL tear in 166 days, so 1 day over a year, and this exemplifies Rodgers' work ethic. Amari has the ability to set up cornerbacks with clever route alternations, as well as getting to his top speed quickly, plus ball tracking and focus to catch 50-50 balls. Definitely like Amari Rodgers' strengths a lot. His weaknesses: needs to prove he can deal with NFL press coverage, has tendency to rush through route fakes. He has average foot agility getting in and out of breaks. Bleacher Report's scouting department says, quote, Amari Rodgers projects to be a wide receiver that can consistently win on the inside because of his good balance, body control, play strength, and feel on routes. A team needing a slot-only wide receiver with some return ability will find value in Rodgers. That is exactly what the Packers need. Consistency and feel on short, intermediate routes. That is it. That is it there from that analysis. I think this is a good pick for the Packers. They get a slot wide receiver that they haven't had since Randall Cobb. Definitely think he can make an impact on the team. I like this pick. From what I was reading, he's not going to be an outside receiver. They're only going to use him as a slot right receiver. He's not good at creating separation on the outside, but that's not really what the Packers need. They need somebody that can be a solid slot wide receiver and be crafty with his routes and, of course, catch the ball. And I think Amari Rodgers will be capable of doing that. And he has a strong work ethic, which Lance Zierlein mentioned on NFL.com, and I am pleased to hear that. And he also is good with 50-50 balls. I like that as well. All right, moving on to the Packers' fourth-round selection, which was Bryce Newman, guard from Mississippi. Newman is 6'5", 310 pounds. He has 33 and 3/4 inch arms and 9-inch hands. And Zierlein's analysis here is, quote, has the ability and experience to be considered at guard or tackle. Hand placement and technique as a run blocker are generally good. He has the athleticism to handle stretch plays and long pulls effectively. I like that because the Packers will run stretch plays with Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon. Newman stays connected and sustains blocks, but will struggle against strong two gappers inside. Newman's strengths here: he has starting experience at guard and tackle. That will be valuable for the Packers. Accurate, strong hands gives him early advantages. He strains into arm extension and works to sustain blocks. He is consistent in finding his footing on reach plays and gets more blocks sealed. Bryce Newman's weaknesses: he has a tendency to let go of second-hand contact and try to go long arm. He is a candidate to be bull rushed if he's not the first with his punch. Base has a tendency to get too wide in pass protection. That could potentially be a problem. He's going to have to work on that. But yeah, you'd expect a 4th round pick to have some weaknesses. Some analysis here by Ian Cummings of Pro Football Network. Quote, Newman is an under-the-radar right tackle with nice size and strength as well as growth potential. He turned in a solid season in 2020 and went on to perform well during the Senior Bowl practices. Again, the Packers are getting more depth here at offensive line, and Newman seems to have versatility. He can play guard and tackle. That could potentially be helpful if the Packers suffer a lot of injuries on the O-line. On to the Packers' first fifth round selection here in Slayton, or TJ Slayton. He is a D tackle out of Florida. He's 6'4", 330 pounds. He has 32 and 5/8 inch arms and 9 and 1/8 inch hands. Analysis here by Lance Zierlein. Slayton doesn't control the point of attack with power and frequently gave ground to double teams and angle blocks. He has the power to handle single blocks and might be able to strengthen the anchor if his bend and leverage can be improved. He's a try-hard rusher whose athleticism creates more pressure than expected. So yeah, the Packers just took a flyer on this guy, Slayton, in the 5th round. It seems like he's probably going to be a boom or bust player. I don't like that he can't control the point of attack, but he is an aggressive player, which could be helpful for the Packers. We'll see. His strengths: explosive first step into contact, keeps moving and tracking toward the ball, and Slayton is able to work himself free of block sustains. I mean, that's a good thing. Otherwise, he's going to be kind of useless in the NFL. Weakness: weight has been an issue in the past and needs to be monitored. That is a huge issue for sure. That could keep him off the field. Slayton fails to control the point of attack. He has below average feel and fight back against angle blocks. Not good. Analysis here by Bleacher Report NFL Scouting Department. Slayton was originally an offensive lineman in high school. He converted to the defensive side of the ball in college. He didn't start until his final season at Florida. Was suspended for weight fluctuation issues, as I just mentioned, while with the Gators. He does have upside as a nose tackle prospect. Based on how he moves and his size, his strong arms and small hands definitely hurt him here. So, I wouldn't say I like this pick, but who knows, it could pay off. So, we'll see what happens with Slayton. Slayton is in a position where he can compete for a roster spot for the Packers. He might have to convert back to the offensive side of the ball at some point in his career. I don't like that. Yeah, we'll see. Even if this dude makes the roster, my prediction is he's even going to practice squad. I don't think he'll make the roster, but we'll see. We'll see what happens with Slayton here. And on to the Packers' next 5th round selection here. They took Shamar Charles, a cornerback out of App State. Analysis here by Zierlein. Quote, boundary corner who stays in the receiver's business all day long. He's a little undersized at 5'10", 184 pounds to be taking on big NFL wideouts, but he's a feisty cover man with good foot agility and short area quickness, and his coverage movement is fairly fluid. Charles' strengths here: he allowed just 30.4% completion percentage rate in 2020 per Football Focus. He possesses quick feet and controlled transition bursts. He has feisty coverage demeanor all over the field. Weaknesses here: he lacks desired NFL build and traits as an outside cornerback. Yeah, he is undersized, so yeah, I see that. Doesn't play with needed consistency against the run. Grabby and physical, leading to unnecessary pass interference calls. Definitely something that the coaches are going to have to stress with him and work on that he's got to not be so grabby as a corner. I know it's really hard to be that way in the NFL, or to not be that way in the NFL, because it's so hard to be a cornerback. Probably the hardest position to play in the league because of all the PI penalties that the officials call. But yeah, I don't like that. He's going to have to work on that. and he's short, so that's why he does it. He's so grabby. But anyways, here is Bleacher Report's scouting department's analysis. Quote, he struggles in press at times, giving free releases without the fluidity needed to recover. He also seems to constantly be in a chase phase with the receiver. Don't like that at all. His lack of size shows up in the run game, where he can be walked on too often and can struggle tackling bigger backs. Again, another guy here for the Packers that'll probably have that'll have a chance to make the roster, but probably be on the practice squad. Moving on here to the Packers' 6th round selection, we got a hometown guy from Wisconsin, Cole Van Lanen, the guard. He is 6'4", 305 pounds. He has 33 3/8 inch arms, 9 3/4 inch hands. Lance Zierlein says, quote, when he's allowed to come off the ball as a drive blocker, he shows some potential to generate push. He's made for power schemes where he can pull, locate, and land to help spring the running game. Van Lanen's strengths: upper body power to generate turn and kick out blocks, lower body drive on gotta have it short yardage blocks. His tackle experience will help in pass protection at guard. Weaknesses: pad level rises too tall in initial lateral movements. Could have issues reaching the nose in zone. Average athletic ability to match sub rushers. Scouting report here by Owen Reese on Bucky'sFifthQuarter.com. Here are Cole Van Lanen's numbers from Wisconsin's Pro Day on March 10th. His 40-yard dash was 5.01 seconds. His vertical jump was 30 inches. His broad jump was 107, 8'11". His bench press was 22. Van Lanen will have a better chance to succeed at guard at the next level, likely a swing or reserve lineman during his career, but could eventually become a starter for a zone team. So I do like this pick, not just because he's out of Wisconsin, but because he does have tackle experience. Again, a versatile player. They can slide him pretty much anywhere on the offensive line. I do like that for the Packers. So yeah, and he's a hometown guy, like I already mentioned. He's from Wisconsin. So Packers are adding a Badger to their team. All right, the second 6th round selection here is Isaiah Mcduffie, linebacker out of Boston College for the Green Bay Packers. Mcduffie is 6'1", so he's a little undersized. 227 pounds, 30 1/4 inch arms, and then 9 5/8 inch hands. Analysis here by Lance Zierlein from NFL.com. McDuffie is at his best playing inside. He plays full tilt, which leads to issues with pursuit angles and tackling. Takes time to free himself from blockers. Ineffective in coverage. Has the ability to become a quality backup with core special teams value, which is where the Packers would use him if he makes the team. So we'll have to see. He's going to have an opportunity to make the team in the preseason. Strengths here for Isaiah McDuffie. He is a coach's son with outstanding work ethic, so another guy with a great work ethic like Amari Rodgers. And it says on and off the field he has a great work ethic, which is outstanding. Toughness and intensity are McDuffie's trademarks. He recognizes formations and tendencies from formations. That's huge for the NFL, at the NFL level. Weaknesses: he takes chances that get him stuck in traffic, must learn to slip blocks and stay clean. Off-balance tackle. On an off-balance tackle, he tries to turn... off-balance tackles turn into broken arm tackles. Here's some info from thedraftnetwork.com. Isaiah McDuffie initially played safety at Boston College before transitioning to linebacker, where he started for 2.5 seasons. McDuffie was a steady presence on special teams at Boston College, and that is probably his best chance of sticking at the next level. And that's his best chance to make the Packers, is to play special teams. And then furthermore, to give him a chance, and this will give him a chance to develop as a linebacker. So yeah, I'm hoping this guy makes the team. I like that he has a strong work ethic and that he's able to recognize formations. So yeah, we might see Isaiah McDuffie on the Packers special teams. We'll have to see. And then the final selection that the Green Bay Packers made was in the 7th round. They picked up Kylin Hill, running back from Mississippi State, who is 5'10", 1/2 inch, 214 pounds, 30 and a half inch arms, and 9 3/4 inch hands. Here is some information from Kylin Hill's player bio by Chad Reuter on NFL.com. His best season at Mississippi State was in 2019, where Hill rushed for 1,350 yards and 10 touchdowns on 242 carries. Hill opted out after 3 starts in 2020. He threatened to cut ties with Mississippi State if the state of Mississippi did not change its flag to remove the Confederate battle emblem. The state eventually did vote to redesign their flag. So, yeah, props for Kylin Hill for speaking out about that. Analysis here by Lance Zierlein. Quote, Hill has a ground-gaining jump cut with adequate ability to elude second-level tacklers, but his primary mode of operation is to run with force and create with power. So he's a power back. He's a grinder who lacks burst and vision to slash and create chunk runs, but could offer a change of pace banger and short yardage option with some third down value. So, yeah, he might have value for the Packers. We'll see. Usually 7th round picks don't make the team. So, yeah, I would be surprised if he made the team, to be honest. Kylin Hill's strengths: runs low with plus leg drive in short yardage spots, adequate short area agility to slip tackles, absorbs collisions but rarely knocked off his feet, powerful thighs, grabs grass and pulls forward through contact. Kylin Hill's weaknesses: he lacks patience and instincts to feel developing creases. He has delays into processing and responding to what he sees. Kylin Hill doesn't trust the play side track in the outside zone. He is missing blow-by burst inside and outside. Analysis here by Christopher Gallagher on PrimetimeSportsTalk.com. Quote, a patient runner who can wait for blocks to develop with his quick feet inside the tackle box. Quote, he can also utilize effective burst to hit the hole with speed while also remaining agile enough to squeeze through different rushing lanes. The 22-year-old can square blitzers when blocking in pass protection with outstanding vision and hand placement. Overall, I think this is an okay pick. I mean, not the greatest pick, not the worst. Kylin Hill will have a chance to make the team. And yeah, it'd be interesting to see if he makes the team also. Just like Isaiah McDuffie. So that wraps out my analysis here. That wraps out the analysis and on the Packers draft selections. Just going to give my final thoughts here on the draft. I think overall this was a very average draft for the Packers. Nobody really sticks out for me in this draft too much, except for maybe Amari Rodgers, who is probably my favorite pick in this draft. But yeah, overall a really just okay draft. Kind of meh with some of these picks. But yeah, like I said, I like the Amari Rodgers selection. I think the Stokes pick is alright. Josh Meyers, I like that pick. And I do like the Cole Van Lanen selection. I think they got good value there with him. The picks I really didn't like were TJ Slayton and Shamar Charles. I don't really like that pick. And Kylin Hill, not a huge fan of that pick either. So, yeah, overall, I think a really average draft. I think they definitely got value with Amari Rodgers in the 3rd round, considering that the Packers need a slot receiver. Goody got his corner in Eric Stokes, and then they got offensive linemen up the wazoo in Josh Meyers, Bryce Newman, and Cole Van Lanen. And I didn't even mention Bryce Newman. I'm alright with that pick too. I like his versatility, and I think he could definitely help out the Packers offensive line for sure. So yeah, that is going to officially wrap out my recap on the Green Bay Packers 2021 NFL Draft. Hopefully you all enjoyed this recap, and I will see you all in a future video. Bye, everybody. Have a good rest of your day, and happy June 1st, because that is the day I'm recording this. Alright, I'll see you guys later.